Hello friends, today we are going to speak an important topic in history. The topic is Third Battle of Panipat. I hope most of you would have heard the term Battle of Panipat. Every aspirant who is preparing, he knows the term which is called Battle of Panipat in history. But you should know that three important battles have taken place in Panipat. The first Battle of Panipat took place in the year 1526, First Battle of Panipat. The second Battle of Panipat took place in the year 1556. The third Battle of Panipat took place in the year 1761, which you are going to see today. And the first Battle of Panipat is also very important, second is important, third is also important. All the three battles of Panipat are very important in history. The first Battle of Panipat took place between the last Lodi ruler, his name is Ibrahim Lodi, versus an invading or incoming foreigner who is called Babur. And in this battle, Babur won and Ibrahim Lodi was defeated, and this victory of Babur was largely responsible for establishment of a new empire, a Mughal dynasty, a new empire in India. So the first Battle of Panipat is significant because it led to the establishment of a new dynasty, a new empire which is called Mughals. The second Battle of Panipat is fought in the year 1556. This is fought between the Afghan resistant forces, and Afghan army is led by a person who is called Hemu, and versus Mughals, that is Akbar. When Akbar was present here, this second battle of Panipat was fought, and from the Akbar side it was led by a person who is called Bairam Khan. And this battle is also very important because this second Battle of Panipat led to the re-emergence or re-establishment of Mughal Empire in India. After the second Battle of Panipat, Hemu was defeated and Bairam Khan, he was responsible for this victory, and this victory led to the re-emergence or re-establishment of Mughal Empire in India. Similarly, the third Battle of Panipat, which was fought in 1761, is also very, very important. And what is the background which led to the establishment of this emergence of this third Battle of Panipat? See, in India by this time, we all know that the Mughal Empire had begun to decline. Aurangzeb died in the year 1707, and after the death of Aurangzeb, those rulers who came, they were very weak. So as a result of this, the Mughal Empire had declined, and it has been declining, and by 1761 the decline was gradual and it was clearly visible. In order to fill this vacuum created by the Mughal Empire, Marathas emerged in the political scene. Marathas, they emerged, and Maratha rule in India had been established by Chhatrapati Shivaji, and now that legacy had been carried forward. Now Peshwas were ruling this Marathas. And by the time when I am speaking in 1761, the third Peshwa was in power. The name of this person happens to be Balaji Baji Rao. Balaji Baji Rao had come to power in the year 1740, and he had been ruling until 1761. By this time he had been the Peshwa. And under the Peshwas, the Maratha power had gradually witnessed a progress in India. Marathas who were initially confined to a place which is called Pune, Marathas who had been confined to a place which is called Pune, over a period of time that began to expand in every direction in North India, and now in 1761 they have been spreading their wings. They have planted the Maratha flag in regions up to the Sindh. So by 1761, when we see, the Peshwa power had reached almost the whole part of North India, and it is during this time that a foreigner wants to enter into India. The name of the foreigner happens to be Ahmad Shah Abdali. Ahmad Shah Abdali basically is an Afghan, and he is a successor of a previous invader who came to India in the year 1739. His name happens to be Nadir Shah. So Ahmad Shah Abdali happens to be one of the generals of Nadir Shah, and by this time he is in power in Afghan. So this Ahmad Shah Abdali tries to enter into India. 1761 is not the first time where Ahmad Shah Abdali entered into India. Previously he had made many attempts to enter into India, and one previous attempt he had come up to Mathura region also he has come. And in 1761 Ahmad Shah Abdali comes to India. And what is the situation, what is the sequentiation which is present here? And when Ahmad Shah Abdali is entering into India, the Mughal emperor who is existing here, his name is also Ahmad Shah, the Mughal emperor. And you may ask the question, when a foreigner is entering into India, and the foreigner is invading India, the Mughals have to defend the entry of the foreigners. So essentially the third battle of Panipat has to be a battle between the incoming foreigners who are called as Afghans and the people who are ruling in India who are called as Mughals. But you will be surprised to know that the Battle of Panipat, which was fought in the year 1761, was not defended in India by the Mughals. And there is a reason for this. And Marathas by this time, who had grown, had taken rights from the Mughals in order to collect Chauhat and Sardeshmukhi rights. Chauhat and Sardeshmukh. These are the two rights the Marathas had taken from the Mughal rulers, and return for the Chauhat and Sardeshmukhi, the Marathas had agreed to give the Mughals the protection from internal and external invasions. So the Marathas had given a guarantee to the Mughal emperor that they are going to protect the Mughal empire from internal invasion as well as from the external invasion. And it is because of the simple reason that we have found in the third battle of Panipat, when an incoming Afghan is coming, the defending is not the Mughals. The Mughals are not defending the incoming Afghans, but the Marathas are the people who are defending the Afghans. Now, when Ahmad Shah Abdali had reached the northern part of India, that is, he has reached Panipat, the third Peshwa who was present here, as I told you, Baji Rao, he has been referred in history as Nana Sahib. Balaji Baji Rao. By this time in 1761, Nana Sahib had taken ill, so he was unable to go to this third battle of Panipat. So he has dispatched his young son, whose name is called Sadasiva Rao, is the uncle of Nana Sahib. So Sadasiva Rao had been dispatched. The full name of Sadasiva Rao is Sadasiva Rao Bahu, and his young son, Balaji Baji Rao's young son, is Viswas Rao. So Viswas Rao is the nominal commander, and the real commander is his uncle Sadasiva Rao Bahu. So a Maratha army had been sent to North India to meet the invading Afghan, and the Maratha army is led by real head is Sadasiva Rao Bahu, and a nominal head had been Viswas Rao. So this question had already been asked in the preliminary: who is the real head of this Maratha army which led in the third battle of Panipat? So you have to know that the real head happens to be Sadasiva Rao Bahu. So an army goes to northern India in India 1761 to defend Indians. And now, when this battle was fought in the year 1761, the third battle of Panipat, the Maratha army which goes to northern India, it goes with all the possible weaknesses it could carry. The Maratha army by this time had lost its vitality. During the time of Shivaji, the Maratha army was very small, it was very agile, it was mobile, and it was using guerrilla warfare techniques in the warfare as much as possible. By this time in 1761, the Maratha army had become bulky, and the Maratha Sardars, that is the officers, the Maratha Sardars by this time had begun the habit of taking their family also into the battlefield. So the active fighting force of the Marathas had decreased in proportion, and with this disadvantage they went. Not only that, the Marathas had by this time begun to accumulate huge weapons, cannons, which were very huge, means weighing 30 to 40 tons cannons. These cannons also the Maratha possess. So the Maratha army in 1761 looked like a very big army, but less efficient, effective army. This is one important drawback which the Marathas had. Second drawback is because of the issue of Chauhat plus Sardeshmukh, which the Marathas collected almost in the whole part of North India. The Marathas had made many enemies. Most of the people were unwilling to pay Chauhat and Sardeshmukhi to the Marathas, because the Marathas had not paid any obligation in return for the collection of Chauhat and Sardeshmukhi. So because of this also, many people in northern India, they were unwilling to pay help, unwilling to give help to the Marathas when they were fighting the third battle of Panipat. So with this drawback, and also the third problem with the Maratha army is that the leadership issue. As you all know, the Maratha is not a centralized army. The Maratha is not a centralized system which existed. The Maratha system is like confederacy. It had different groups. We all know Peshwas, now Gaikwad, Bhonsle, all this. Like this, the Maratha system consisted of confederates. So the leadership of Sadasivarav is not accepted widely by the rest of the groups. So with all these drawbacks, the Maratha army entered into North India in 1761, and in January 1761, the fateful battle happened. 14th January 1761, the third battle of Panipat was fought. And the result was well known. The foreigner Ahmad Shabdali, whose army was swift, agile, and which was having high maneuverability, defeated the Marathas, who by this time had become bulky and who were not having any support from the backside, where Indians were not supporting the Marathas, and it is because of this the Marathas had lost the third battle of Panipat. So it is a simple fact that the Marathas had lost the third battle of Panipat, but the impact caused by the loss of the Marathas in the third battle of Panipat is vast and is permanent. Impact of third battle of Panipat. The third battle of Panipat is very significant in history, because the third battle of Panipat clearly gave a verdict in Indian history. According to this, the third battle of Panipat, where Marathas have lost, it is said by the historians that the third battle of Panipat did not decide who should rule India, but the third battle of Panipat decided who should not rule India. Let me repeat the statement again. The third battle of Panipat did not decide who should rule India, but it decided who should not rule India. And the third battle of Panipat decided that Marathas were not supposed to rule India. As you all know, during this time, starting from 1720s to 1761, the Maratha power in northern part of India had gradually expanded. From the base at Pune, they had spread to Orissa, they had spread to Agra, they had spread up to Sindh. So the Marathas were politically expanding. So the third battle of Panipat put an end to the expansionist aim of the Marathas. It put an end to the political vision, the political ambition of the Marathas to become an all-Indian empire. So the impact of the third battle of Panipat is vast. One, that it put an end to the Marathas. Second important result or impact of the third battle of Panipat is that it created a vacuum in North India. It created a vacuum in North India, and you must know this vacuum is largely responsible for the entry and entrenchment of British in North India. So the British, they came and occupied this vacuum which was created by the Marathas. Had it not been the third battle of Panipat, had it not the Marathas lost in the third battle of Panipat, it will be very improbable or highly difficult for the British East Indian Company to control the whole part of northern India. So the third battle of Panipat's impact is permanent and it is vast. So I hope you have understood in a simple sequence what is this third battle of Panipat. And in the future slides, I will be trying to speak about the impact and the course of the first battle of Panipat, also impact and the course of the second battle of Panipat also I will speak.